The events unfolding in the Middle East have caused great concern, particularly in Israel. These occurrences have been described as prophetic and are seen by many as a sign of the end of the world. According to the Bible, these events are a result of Satan's attempt to thwart God's plan for Israel. The Bible predicts that Israel will experience great turmoil during the end times, including the destruction of the Second Temple, the construction of the Third Temple, and the signing of a 7-year peace treaty by the Antichrist. While many believe that the current turmoil in the Middle East is a precursor to the end times, it is important to remember that Jesus himself warned against taking wars and rumors of wars as a sign of the end. Instead, we should remain vigilant and continue to trust in his wisdom. Understanding the importance of the Third Temple requires knowledge of the history and significance of the previous two temples in Jerusalem. One interesting fact is that the remains of an ancient temple were discovered beneath the foundations of a mosque after it collapsed in 1927. During the time of the Second Temple, Jews would ritually immerse themselves before approaching the Temple Mount. The ancient temple on the revered Temple Mount in Jerusalem has been unveiled through significant discoveries which were kept hidden in British archives to avoid upsetting Muslim authorities. The Sanhedrin, a Jewish legal and religious regulatory body, has taken necessary precautions to resume temple services. These preparations include creating a forest and focusing on agricultural requirements, as many sacrifices involve plant offerings grown throughout Israel. Rabbi Chaim Richman, a member of the Sanhedrin, is leading the effort to bring back the renowned red heifer to Israel, which some believe is a sign of the end times. The recent appearance of 5 red heifers in Israel has sparked global debate, particularly among Christians who follow biblical prophecies. These heifers meet the qualifications for sacrifice outlined in Numbers 19 of the Mosaic Law, which state that they must be red in color and without blemish. The emergence of the red heifers in Israel has also given rise to various rumors. While King David of Israel desired to build a temple or permanent structure for the God of the Bible, God did not request a grand cedar dwelling. Instead, God promised to establish David's throne permanently, symbolizing the establishment of his house. Solomon, one of David's sons, fulfilled God's promise to David by overseeing the construction of the house of the Lord on Mount Moriah in Jerusalem. This magnificent structure became the center of worship for all of Israel once it was completed. Many people wonder if there will be a third temple mentioned in the Bible. Although the biblical writings may not always provide precise details, however, there are 3 scriptural evidences that suggest the existence of another temple. Although the third one is purely symbolic, the first evidence indicates that sacrifice will be offered once again, as prophesied in the book of Daniel. It is believed that sacrifices will cease after a certain period, followed by an abomination of desolation at the end of times. Some speculate that the Jews will construct another temple in Jerusalem before the second coming of Jesus Christ. They draw this conclusion based on the connection between the temple and the altar where sacrifices will be made. Jesus himself predicted that an abomination of desolation would be erected in the holy place before his return. This is what we as Christians refer to as the Antichrist. This prophecy adds to the speculation surrounding the construction of a third temple on the Temple Mount. However, the idea of a third temple remains shrouded in mystery and has become a contentious issue between Israelis, Arabs, and Christians. The Temple Mount, where the Second Temple once stood, is not only a holy site for Jews, but also a significant Muslim place of worship. The Al-Aqsa Mosque currently sits atop the Temple Mount, and its ownership has been a subject of dispute between Palestinians and Israeli forces since 1967. Arabs strongly oppose the construction of a Jewish temple on this historically significant location, as They believe it is the site from which Muhammad ascended to heaven. This ongoing disagreement adds to the complexity surrounding the possibility of a third temple being built. However, it is convenient and conceivable that Jews might commence performing sacrifices on an altar prior to the construction of a temple, much like they did before the second temple was built. This fact was mentioned in the Bible. The chapters of Ezekiel from 40 to 48 unveil the future construction of a temple, but pinpointing the exact moment when this will occur has proven to be challenging. Some argue that these chapters refer to Solomon's temple or Herod's restoration of it, while others contend that Ezekiel's vision of the temple, which led to the construction of the second temple, was directly from God himself. However, this interpretation is incorrect according to most people, as the historical fulfillments do not align with the specific passages. In Ezekiel chapters 40 through 48, the most plausible argument is that these chapters depict the building of a temple for the nation of Israel, which will no longer be divided into two kingdoms during the millennium. The exact moment and location when God will permanently reside among the children of Israel and pour out his spirit on the house of Israel are not mentioned. However, an additional indication that the millennium has begun includes the flow of healing waters from the temple and the change of Jerusalem's name to the Lord. Animal sacrifices appear to be temporarily resumed during the millennium, although the reason for their use in cooking is not specified. Those who perform the sacrifices are required to come and take them for cooking. These sacrifices seem to occur at least temporarily and will be connected to a physical temple. Recently, 5 red cows certified by rabbis arrived at Ben Gurion Airport, sparking debates about the prophetic significance of their appearance and whether we are rapidly approaching the Third Temple era in these final days. The book of Numbers describes how someone following Mosaic law must purify themselves with the ashes of a red heifer. If the temple were to be reconstructed or fall from the sky, worship at the temple could resume immediately. The ashes of red heifer are essential for ritual cleansing, and many Jews believe this signifies the redemption is near. Christians and Jews believe that Jesus' death on the cross was the final sacrifice required for their salvation. The Temple Institute in Bona, Israel brought a candle to Israel, which is believed to be a sign of the end of the world or the beginning of the Messianic era. The New Testament connects the construction of the Third Temple to the appearance of the man of perdition, also known as the Antichrist. The impending devastation of Armageddon or the end of the world is a significant source of anxiety. Recent events in Israel have raised concerns among religious people about the fulfillment of prophecy in the construction of the Third Temple. The priest must witness the complete burning of the heifer, including its hide, flesh, blood, and intestines, and then take a shower before returning to the camp. The Israelites are instructed to store these materials for use in ritual baths and sacrifices intended to atone for sin. They believe that a person's character can be judged based on the company they keep. In conclusion, recent events in Israel have sparked discussions about the possibility of the Third Temple being built and the end times approaching. What are your thoughts? Do you believe the Third Temple will be built in your lifetime? Share your opinions in the comment below.